Welcome to the Southwestern University COMELEC Pride Month Special entitled Leading Out Loud, Celebrating LGBTQ plus Leaders. I'm Desiree, and joining me today is my co-host,
Nathalie.
Together, we'll be discussing the experiences and insights of three incredible LGBTQ plus student leaders. Let's jump in.
Absolutely, Ate Des. And to start off, could you describe your coming out story?
Hi everyone, my name is Duke Dominique Emia. I'm the newly elected governor of the Senior High School Student Body Organization. My pronouns are he, him, and to be honest, I don't have a coming out story. Murag, nabantayan na lang jud guro sa akong family nga bayot man jud guro ni siya. Mo na siya.
Okay, hello everyone. I am JV Villaro and I am the newly elected External Vice-Governor of the Senior High School Department of Southwestern University Phinma. And also, just like Honorable Duke, I don't really have a coming out story ever since I was a child. Kanang, anak na Jude.
Hi, I'm Marcus Hoy. I'm from the Quill, and my pronouns are he, them. And my coming out story is not usually the type that ma I'm gay, ma I'm koan kanang inani and I'm that koan murag. I don't believe in that notion yet. Everyone should come out as long as kanang you are comfortable with yourself. So I guess I don't have any coming out story. But
Wow, everyone's coming out stories have truly left an impact. Now, let's dive into our question. How do you believe political engagement and advocacy can contribute to fostering a more inclusive and accepting environment for LGBTQ plus students on campus?
I believe na as LGBTQIA plus student leaders, we have a big role in making sure that our community is seen and echoed all throughout this institution. And with that, we have to make sure na as student leaders, we are aware of the laws and policies and politics in general and how it can impact our community and everyone in this campus.
I do agree about that.
Okay. Same as Honorable Duke, it is really important for us to have proper representation in the institution since it's very important for us to be seen and be aware about the political happenings in the society as well as in the institution.
for me, the students in an educational institution are the main stakeholders, and that student leaders should be able to amplify their voices, especially those who are in the marginalized and people who have been experiencing discrimination. And I think politics is really an important thing for this fight.
Thank you for that insightful responses. Now, what steps do you believe that are required to address the special issues that the LGBTQ plus people experience in our society? And how do the student leaders contribute to those efforts?
I think the first step now we should take as student leaders is be aware. Be aware of what's happening in your area, in your community. And because if you are aware sa mga nahitabo around you, you will know kung unsa ang mga steps nga imong matake in making sure nga that issue will be addressed, and not just in any way nga ma-address but it will be addressed in a way nga makaingon jud mga tao nga, oh, this is kanang gikan sa usasad ka members sa kanang marginalized nga community.
Okay, for me, I think it's very important sad na we student leaders can take action towards timely and relevant problems that are focused on the community, just like facing discriminations and other forms of microaggressions. And it's very important for us to take steps slowly. We should know what are the problems nga need to be solved immediately, and what are the problems that that needs to be solved in the long term run.
As reflection sa ilang mga answers, the student leaders should be very open-minded when it comes to things like this, in order for them to understand and to address what is really what's the underlying issue that should be addressed. And I think the first step to that is being more open, Jude.
It's clear that there's still work to be done. Building on that, our next question is, do you believe there is still more work to be done in terms of LGBTQIA+ representation, particularly in student organization? If so, could you suggest some steps you could take to reach that goal?
Yes, I believe that there's really a need to widen the representation of LGBTQIA+ student leaders in organization. Like, for example, and in the way nga help that is, I think there's always a need to establish such mga measures and I think committees or programs that is targeted for the welfare of the members of the community. Like for example, our newly elected and appointed officers of our organization, kay out of 44, kay there's a wide number of 20 officers from our organization are part of the LGBT community. And I believe if muna siyang mahitabo kay kanang if dako representation ng LGBT community sa mga student body organization kay not only they can provide creative and insightful nga mga projects, they can also kanang use ang ilahang joint nga knowledge and making sure nga the issues with regard to the community in general will be addressed.
Okay, I believe that creating for the representation of the LGBT community in student body organizations is very important, and there's a need for it to be widened, not only because in the senior high school, as Governor Duke said, we out of 44 students, we have 20 members of the organization that are members of the LGBT community, and we really can't see that wide kanang anak kadaghan nga members sa other student body organizations, and there's really a need for them to widen their perspective and scope towards their members and the officers of their organizations for them to have proper representation, especially in their own councils.
Could you repeat the question, Yana?
Do you believe there is still more work to be done in terms of LGBTQIA representation, particularly in student organization? If so, could you suggest some steps you could take to reach that goal?
Yes, there is a really big pangakuan kanang apasunon ang atuang representation sa atuang LGBTQIA youth diri sa Southwestern University, and I think that like what JV said, dapat i-widen ang scope, especially po sa kuan sa SB, not only sa senior high but sa colleges po, dapat mas daghang representation ang naa sa ato ang kuan sa student leadership nato. And also yes, we're already taking slower but bigger steps na, and layo pa kayo ta actually, but we're going there, layo na kayo ta. So mano siya.
Promoting inclusivity is really crucial, especially upon what they have shared right now. Now moving on, gender-based discrimination remains a significant challenge. How do you believe we should handle this issue and promote inclusivity as LGBTQ student leaders?
I believe na as student leaders as what I have said earlier, you should be able to know kung what are your targets and unsang mga target ni mga programs o mga steps, and making sure nga your organization or the institution you are moving in kanang ma-promote nilang inyong goal of inclusivity. Kay if you're just there leading the students, like acting as their like governing body, if you're just kanang governing them, there's really nothing nga mahitabuan na. However, you should know nga as student leaders, as elected officers of that organization, you are elected to become representations. So, ang mahitabuan na as student leaders, you have to know nga dapat jud, you have to voice out bisag unsa pa naka mga dagko nga kuan ang inyong mga targeton, as long as you know nga there's really a need to kanang target those issues, I think as student leaders should be able to do it.
Okay, so I believe na to slowly topple down gender-based discrimination, I think that there is a need for students to identify what is the main problem and what is kanang the need, need nga kanang need nga ma-resolve kanang immediately, kay as what I've said nga dili ay kanang we can never end kanang gender-based discrimination in just a snap. And I think nga to resolve this problem nga there's a need for student body organizations to be specific nga to specify their scope jud and limitations sa ilahang kanang what do you call this? Kanang sa ilahang sa programs and committees nga ilang i-establish para ma-resolve na ang kanang gender-based discrimination.
Okay, so so from what I've observed sa ato ang mga SBOs here in the sa college kay yes, dapat jud i-widen ang scope sa ilahang mga programs pod para daghan ma-cater, and if we are going to promote inclusivity, like kuan pa jud, mas daghanon pa jud ang mga programs nga maka-represent pa sa mga kuan sa each other minorities in the school and the university.
Valuable insights indeed. Now, what advice would you give as an LGBTQ student leader to someone who wants to be an ally but doesn't know where to start? And how can we be better allies throughout the year, not just during Pride Month?
I believe na not just for LGBTQIA+ members, but I believe na students or individuals should know the difference of tolerance and acceptance. You can't just coexist in this place and you're just going to tolerate that person of being an LGBTQIA+ member, but in reality, you have internalized like side comments with regards to that. I believe na dapat yun na tumahibawaan ang difference of those things, and to become better allies kay it's not just showing up during Pride Month kay Pride doesn't end on the month of June. It's always every day. Nga dapat if you want to be an ally is of course you should know and be aware nga you are not part of that kanang gi-discriminate or gi-oppress nga community, and that you should recognize your privilege, and nga kanang nga privileges wala na siya sa kanang mga members sa LGBTQIA+ community, and to become better allies kay of course you have to help them and facing their kanang struggles pod.
Okay, I believe na kanang for allies nga to recognize themselves as allies kay they should know how to differentiate what is kanang offensive and what is good for the communities. To be specific, kay compliments that are backhanded, some compliments can be recognized as a good one, and some can affect someone's gender expression and gender identity. So it's very important for them to identify what's the difference of both. Kay we don't know nga kanang someone is struggling from kanang issues within themselves nga ilahang na encounter throughout their life, kay kanang it can come out as insensitive. So it's better for us to be sensitive rather than be insensitive towards each minority.
I think for the allies, there's no such thing as when to start, because it does not end. It should not end for you to be an ally, because being an ally means that you have to accept and to accept that there is people that people, gay people, the LGBTQIA community exists. You have to accept that fact. And for that mustap ba siya sa Pride Month? Well, Pride Month is for everyone actually. Pride is for everyone, and it is not only for us, the LGBTQIA, it's for everyone, regardless of your sexuality, gender identity, and expression. And I think that we should start that now and continue it every day to accept that the LGBTQIA exists and that they should not be discriminated for being who they are.
Wow, that's a really great advice, guys. Now let's turn back or focus back to our LGBTQ student leaders. How would you, as an LGBTQ plus ally student leader, contribute to the establishment of a safe and accepting environment for LGBTQ plus members?
I think we should start that by creating, let's say, organizations, clubs, or committees that really handles the concerns of the LGBTQIA+ community. I believe like we should adapt. We should kanang establish the same thing agi-establish sa ato ang municipalities, cities, that there should be in every organization, there should always be a gender welfare and development committee that really tackles and kanang really solves the concerns that is given to them by the LGBTQIA plus members and provide them with kanang solutions po that is very inclusive and kanang not only siya mo solve og issues nga case-to-case basis but in general ma-eradicate nato or ma-lessen nato ang mga discrimination.
For me, I think nga kanang ang what we should do kay kanang as what Governor said nga we should establish committees just like what I did for in the House of Representatives. I created a resolution that will be that is titled an ad hoc establishing an ad hoc committee on gender and welfare for the House of Representatives to focus their scope on a certain issue, just like the Gender and Welfare Committee. The Gender and Welfare Committee will focus and help them eradicate the cases of gender-based discriminations and target the concerns of the LGBT students and help them solve with kanang solutions that are highly ethical.
What was the question again?
How will you, as an LGBTQ plus ally student leader, contribute to the establishment of a safe and accepting environment for LGBTQ plus member here in Southwestern University Phinma?
In the Senate, the SWU SC bill has been napass na sa kanang sa second reading na siya ang SWU SC bill. And I think that one legislation right there is very important para ma-protect ang ato ang mga LGBT, not only the LGBTQIA people but also the all people sa Philippines regardless of their gender identity and sexual orientation. And with that being said, dapat diri pud sa tuang university, there should be legislations that will protect the students to give them and enhance their experience here to provide gender safe, gender friendly community.
Creating a safe space is essential. As an LGBTQIA plus student leader, how would you handle problems in your jurisdiction addressing LGBTQIA plus matters without displaying prejudice?
As an LGBTQIA plus student leader, I always carry this motto with me. I keep saying that kanang building a healthier community, building a healthier Cebu, building a healthier society with a rainbow. And with that, what I mean with that is make sure that kanang ang way ni mo nga pag-solve sa mga problems is ang mutatak jud sa mind and sa heart sa everyone kay this kanang solution is provided by us by an LGBTQIA plus leader. Kay I think nga if we are to be kanang seen jud as the one who solves this type of issues kay it's great, it will kanang create a great impact for the community and it will kanang lessen jud the prejudice against the community and makasolve siya sa mga problems without in a colorful way, let's say.
Okay. For me, sad kay it's very important for us kanang LGBT student leaders to have solutions that are specially catered to our community nga ma-recognize as kami ang nagbuhat ana nga kasi because it will not glorify our name. Instead, it will help us be recognized and be seen in the society as an individual that is under the marginalized community.
Okay. Let me take this opportunity to sort of promote our organization. In the Quill, all types of people can be seen in our organization. There are gay people, there are lesbian people, and with that being said, we don't look into the person's gender identity and sexual orientation on how can they help to our community. We look into the person's personality and how can they contribute with their skills. And I think that should be noted by our SBOs that we should be more diverse and inclusive when it comes to having student leaders that will serve and will set an example for the rest of the university. and students.
Thank you for sharing your experiences and insights. Discrimination is unfortunately still prevalent. Have you ever faced discrimination as an LGBTQ plus student leader? And if so, how did you feel with such discrimination? And if not, what advice do you have for individuals who are victims of discrimination?
Discrimination, with gender-based discrimination, is always present. Actually, during our candidacy as a party list during our senior high school student body organization election, we're criticized for like really promoting inclusivity. Jud kay they keep saying that it's not let's say they're saying that it's not that urgent since Southwestern University is already a paragon of inclusivity. And I believe na by that statement, it's basically invalidating the struggles and the fight that is still existing within our institution. And yeah, the only thing akong ipangbuhat, and I keep saying my co-council members and those type of discrimination is, chill lang. I keep saying them nga, chill lang kay whatever you do, whether it's right or wrong, there's someone out there who's ready to criticize you. So let's make sure what you're doing will create a difference to the community and to the institution. Kay like, hater ka, daghan mang hater na ko linya sa mo, and you're not that important and you're not my priority. That's my advice to everyone, Rajat.
For us, kay again nga, way back sa among election kay we've been criticized for kanang sige mi og promote og inclusivity nga, whereas paragon of inclusivity naman ang Southwestern nganong sige pa man mig promote og inclusivity nga. I think nga it's highly invalidating, especially me kay I am the one nga kanang nagsige og promote about kanang trans inclusion towards kanang trans teenagers towards kanang Southwestern University, and especially sa senior high school department, since there's still kanang members and there are faculty, not faculty members, kanang workers of the institution nga kanang mo propagate og kanang beliefs that are against the trans community. And I think that it's time for them to be eradicated kay kanang it's very toxic to work in a place nga kanang mabranded ang school as inclusive whereas ang ilahang workers are not. It's very contradicting. And I think nga it's time for them to eradicate kanang toxic people sa institution.
Way back 2022, there was this event in the school nga gitawag og Viots, and it was a crucial point to my being here in SWU, because I found the event very mocking and very invalidating towards our trans women and trans youth in the school. And I think, when I was raising such kanang issue nga, why do we have to do this? Isn't it like kanang very mocking against the LGBTQI? There was this student who actually antagonized me, and I don't know what's his motive, but he was saying that, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this activism nga dapat dili ida yung chuchu? And he said this one striking line nga, there is no discrimination, and there is no discrimination. There is no people trying to eradicate you, or in his words, wala may mupatay ninyo. And I was very mad about it, because it's not only attacking me, it's attacking the entire community. Everyone was attacked by that, because discrimination pretty much exists in our society, and we experience it every day. And it is a hard thing for me to witness such thing, na naadyo ay firsthand, na ma-witness firsthand, na naadyo ay tao nga nag-think wala na discrimination, when in fact there is still, and we have still a long way to go para ma-eradicate ang discrimination. For me, I am not personally being discriminated every day. There are times that I fight back and I make snarky comments against them, and I turn their words against them. But it doesn't mean that me being not discriminated sometimes doesn't mean that other people are not experiencing it. And I'm here to as a student leader and a student journalist, I'm here to amplify those voices nga dili madungog just because ako kay ma-amplify man jud ko kay naa naman jud ko kanang stand platform, but those people behind me that still needs help, I want to be that person nga mo represent nila and to their collective voices ma-amplify og maayo para mas madungog siya when kuan na kunanay kanang arise ng mga panghitabo. So mo to siya.
Overcoming discrimination really requires strength. Our final question focuses on maintaining an inclusive leadership team. As an LGBTQ student leader, what strategies have you used to guarantee diversity and representation on your leadership team?
For me, what step we did is we make sure na everyone is heard, everyone has a platform, and it's not just in the field of gender expression, gender identity, but we have to promote inclusivity in every way. Like what we did in our council, the newly elected council, is we make sure that each strand of each academic track in the senior high school department has a representation in our council. That's the first step to making sure there's inclusivity. And the next thing that we did is we established committees, we established subgroups, organization, and we promote those organizations whose aim is making sure that kanang some talents, some community is being heard, and kuan silang ilang mga talents is we put them in this pedestal and in the spotlight.
In my scope, I believe na it's important for me to create legislations and resolutions in the House of Representatives nga kanang mo cater specifically sa concerns sa LGBTQIA+ community. And I think nga through creating resolutions nga mo cater immediately sa problems sa amuang community, I think nga we can slowly topple down microaggressions towards our gender identity kay it's not easy for us to encounter day-to-day nga maka-encounter me og transphobic statements ingon ana, and I think nga through creating legislations nga mo help sa among community kay mo kalit ay mo mas ma-help pa nga mas ma-represent among selves and be true to being true to our authentic selves.
In the Quill, our goal is we are the watchdog of the entire student leaders, student tree, and the student leaders. We are, and no, not only the student leaders, but we are the watchdog of the entire university. And with that being said, we are aiming to promote inclusivity by, if naay kanang mga students nga kanang nakakita sa problem, we we turn it into news so that many students will be aware of what is happening and that there could be, let's say, para maka-take og action ang atoang SBOs, ang atoang administration, and ang atoang school. And another thing is that PRISM is very close to my heart, even though I am not a member, because it's close to my heart because I am happy that we are finally getting representation sa university, the LGBTQIA, and that they should be really empowered. I hope that the current student administration will empower them further para dili na para dili ma-eliminate ang kanang inclusivity sa tuang school entirely. And I hope nga mas ma-improve pa jud ang ilahang ang ilahang state, mas ma-improve pa ang ilahang mga programs and kung sa man ang ilang situation karon.
Thank you guys for your very valuable insights and for sharing your personal experiences as an LGBTQ+ student leaders. Your contributions are truly aspiring.
That concludes our Pride Month special of Leading Out Loud, celebrating LGBTQ+ leaders. We hope this conversation encourages continued progress and support for our LGBTQ community. Remember, let's lead out loud and celebrate diversity every day. Until the next time!